Hello, Tony. Hi, Todd. Hello, everybody. Hi, Nate. How are you guys today? Getting ready for the action here at the Debutts yard. I'll be with y'all in just a moment.
I seen the headline. I want to double check. Thank you. Hands on the plug. 8 feet on the plug. There's me one in there. Lined up. You're on number 1.
for being with Casey and I here at Rail Moments. We are at the south end of the Norfolk Southern Debutts yard. And behind me over the shoulder, someone asked if both units are here. That is the Geometry Unit NS34. Now I saw that both units were reported headed towards Chattanooga, but the only one that we've seen is the one tied down over my right shoulder, number 34. Hey, we got a little bit of tractor action today. Let's get back to the tracks. I'll talk to y'all in a little while. Good to see y'all. something coming from some direction. Let's see what it is, and we'll come back to that. Change in sound that you hear, that is 4468 now started and running, along with 6180, our switcher locomotive to your right. .180 and it's slug. As you saw, it is an autonomous locomotive, and its engineer got off and hopped in the PTI car, and they're going down to the other end where they'll reverse that back. 6180 at SD40-2. And where I thought something was coming, since I heard so much noise, I thought there was one on the other side on the pass-through tracks. But it is 4468 with one of two number boards lit. One lit, one not lit. Conductor side, dark. Engineer side, all lit up. As you all saw the train crew jump on, they fire that locomotive up, and you can just see a wisp of smoke coming up through the top. For those of you first time with us, Todd had asked the question about the fuel rack tracks. The two racks closest to you, one of which is the one that locomotive, those two locomotives are sitting on. Right past him, you'll see a blue flashing light. So the two tracks closest to you go back to the fuel rack, and they cannot go past the blue flashing light where you see the sign that says stop. They must have authorization and ground verification that the that the derail has been lowered off so that they can proceed past that point. Then the rails to the right of that are different rails that go back into the yard all the way down to the other end for the hump yard. Over to your far right, which you're currently not looking at, but over to the far right are two Norfolk Southern pass-through tracks, plus a CSX, the W&A, from Atlanta to Waxahachie line has a pass-through on the very outside of the Debutts yard. So what'll probably happen next, since the engineer of 6180 hopped in the PTI car, he has gone down to the far end where he will be in the back of that train, and we will hear the engine rev up and the horn, excuse me, not the horn, but the bell sound when he starts to move 6180 and reverse that train back. When he does that, we will have a wide open view over of the pass-through tracks, which at this time, since we have been here, nothing has passed through. Hello, Chuck. How are you? And Tara, I think everything stays in Roanoke just so you have the chance to film it all. And that's a good thing. Yeah, a little cool there. We got to see the truck reversing with one MOW car back into the yard. And we were talking about the geometry unit. Someone reported both of them with the same locomotive number, but the one that's here is number 34 and is currently tied down in the normal place here at the south end of the yard. And also coming in is Life Force Landing. Let's see if we can pick that up. Y'all hang on as I spin you around here rather quick. That is Life Force landing at Erlanger. We hope everybody's okay, but Life Force coming in for a landing at the Erlanger Medical Complex at the heliport located over on the other side. He's going to go around the back side of Erlanger. Don't know if we'll get to see him where we are. Probably not. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye over there, but in the meantime, the crew that started up (4468) has climbed down, and there you see on the left side of your screen. Hello, Billy, how are you? As you can see on the stop sign, or on the sign that says stop, where it requires authorization for any locomotive to pass that part right there. On the ground you see a blue flashing light. That is where the demarc is for the derailer, right across from that blue light. It's yellow in color, and it will be raised across the track when that blue light is on. There are two of those. The second one is blocked. We can't see it at this moment. That's good news, Billy. I hope you're feeling fantastically great. I hope you and I are both doing the correct thing with our eating right, no desserts, and staying warm all at the same time. That is the person that you see talking on the scanner right now.
Okay, round the horn, R1, holler back in, move them to the 40 yard. There we go.
4873 on the back side. And there to your left is the Geometry Unit, NS number 34, tied down there at the south end of the yard. Todd, there's an example of a locomotive that probably came out of the fuel rack, was left there, and they're going to run him out and switch him back into the yard. Would be my guess is the plan if I understood everything correctly. But for the most part, they do come out on different tracks and then reverse down. Chattanooga area rail vendor, I would not disagree with you. I saw both reports, and ironically, they reported the same lead locomotive on both. So I think you're probably right. It happens. You can see him working that train southward, where at some point, my guess is they're going to reverse him back towards us and hook him to a train that will be going out the southbound end later. So we'll keep note of those locomotive numbers, and we'll probably see them on a train coming out later on if we're here long enough. Making his way down across from the National Cemetery, across down by McCauley there, where we are on the other side. Let's see if we get to see him hop back on. Yeah, if you go back and look at the report on 38 and 34, in, I think it was Bridgeport, whoever it was, and the funny thing is, they reported that they saw them in person, if my memory's right, when I looked at the post, but it is 34 that's sitting here. I verified it visually. How are you? Oh, Mama Bear, that would have been so cool to catch. Oh, here goes Life Force. I don't know if I can catch him fast enough, but he is back in the air. And he is rolling out. Again, the Geometry Unit, NS34. And ironically, we have not had one train yet on the pass-through line. Hard to believe, since every train that goes east or west through Chattanooga goes past this point. And when we get one, we'll show you exactly where that point is. Crash will tell you about it, because he's got a spot right across from us at the ball fields he loves to hang out at. On the W&A subline with a coal drag. Looks like he's empty. He is doing 17 miles per hour. an NS train on the bypass, that would be fantastic. And for those of you that have not been here with us before or not familiar with the South End, as we had talked just a little while ago, there are two pass-through tracks that go over on the far side, just inside the CSX track. And they are exactly what they say, pass-through. They do not stop for the yard. As far as the yard traffic, they can go straight through. Although there are a couple control points where they usually change out the crew. If you hear them talk about Pratt on the radio, that is the 3rd Street signal, which is the control point closest to us. Very, very common where they change out the crews on the east-west trains going through, which actually are considered kind of north-south as they go out of here. And control point Webb down by the crossover bridge. So Pratt and Webb you'll hear pretty frequently for stuff going on here. So we're going to listen, Crash, and we'll hear the defect detector for NS. And CSX also has one over on those tracks. As we were talking, the speed on that last train, on the CSX train going through, was between 16 and 17 miles per hour that he was doing, passing through Chattanooga on his way over to go around Lookout Mountain and either into the CSX Waxahachie yard or on over into the joint line, the Chattanooga joint line that goes on over to Bridgeport, Stevenson, and then takes the split NS to the left on the Memphis East line, or on up to see Tony, headed on up to Nashville on the CSX line. If you've not seen the cams, Iron Horse rail cams, Vince's cameras, check them out. There is one at Bridgeport and there is one at Stevenson. Mama Bear, as we swing to the west, and Tara, there is your sunset. A combination of clouds, clear sky in between, and then the brilliance of the radiating what's left of the sunlight right above that bridge. What a beautiful evening. We got up to 50-some degrees today. Crash, I'm guessing you are trackside with me, is that correct? And are you by chance across the way at the ball field? Man, our sky over to the west is just beautiful. Hey, Kit, how are you? How's Missouri? Kid, I think the answer to that would be yes, or at least all the majors do, because all the yard switching that they do, and even the non-majors down on the old tagline, the CNC has remote locomotives that operate. Matter of fact, if you go down in Rossville, you'll see signs that says, watch out for the remote control. Crash, what else are hooked to our locomotives that we saw earlier? This could be our locomotives coming back right now. $44.68. There they are. We saw them go in tandem all alone. And there's a wave from our engineer. You're riding on a Ferromex car. Oh, check it out! Those characters? Oh, well, Crash is going to be our advanced train spotting liaison down by the zoo. Warner Park is to the east of us where Crash is, trackside. Oh, huh? That's what that was. I knew it looked familiar. Well, we got lights. Let's see what's coming our way. If it's an inbound train, let's hope he doesn't stop and block all our action. And keep him out of trouble, okay?
I'll try to.
I know it's hard. Y'all have a good night. Hey Don, how are you? The gremlins are multiplying. Hello Don, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Crash, I saw a note a little while ago about a CSX being blocked.
365.
Did we have one coming our way? Or
15.
just want to catch up with what you were talking about? As our autonomous locomotive pushes back into the yard. And if you look right above that headlight and slightly to the right, you can see the two signal lights on the signal bridge for the NS lines going eastbound through Chattanooga. Currently we have two rigs showing up on top for the NS pass-through lines going east. There is a signal bridge over to the right, or a signal tower actually, over to the right for CSX, but we can't quite see it as that boxcar is in the way. But right now we have double rigs going east. All right, we have, hello Andy. We have a CSX train that has passed the bird cam coming at us. As y'all know, the bird cam is functional 24 hours a day. It resets every 11 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. And for those of you that have not watched the bird cam before, at night it does get very dark, and the reason being, it is in the middle of a massive bird sanctuary where there are no lights, so we don't keep the birds up at night. But you can hear the scanner that covers all kinds of things all over the area for Chattanooga. You can hear the Debutts yard, you can hear CSX, you can hear NS, traffic all the way down to Dalton, just all kinds of things. So if you've not checked it out, please make sure you do so. Hey Don, we've got it sitting over here, currently at the south end of the yard, down by EPB operations. And if it's your first time, please make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to like. And if you have any questions, just make yourself at home and ask. Between Don and Todd and Crash and everybody that's on here, somebody will know the answer to any question that you have. And if we don't know the answer, Todd will look it up. And if nothing else works, we'll just make up an answer. But anyhow, welcome everybody to the Debutts yard in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the south end.
You want my conductor to ride?
Yeah, I mean, somebody's gonna have to drop that show, protect it somewhere.
Right on the bottom, 43 seats.
And always remember, don't get uptight if you've got regs looking at you, because if you got red on this side, as you all know, it can be green on the other side. And since we've got Crash hanging out with us here tonight, a little further down, he will give us a heads up on anything headed our way. just like he did on the train, the 2 locomotives that we saw earlier here on the fuel rack line. It came down, reversed back into the yard, grabbed part of a train, and they took the gremlin back into the yard. Hopefully nobody throws any water on him. That's the one thing about the traffic in Chattanooga crash. You never know how long you're going to be sitting. But it looks like they're getting ready to open 75 South, where they've been working on the bridge over the CSX line. The southbound lane looks like they've started clearing out everything and doing some final surfacing. All the equipment's gone on the south side, so hopefully we can get rid of that bottleneck. And as y'all know, over there by the interstate, over by the mall on Interstate 75, it might be a while. I think that's another couple years on that project. See a light over there on the far side. Crash. He looks like he's coming our way in between train cars. So we may have something over on the pass-through. Geometry locomotives down there. Number 34.
Okay. 6, 5.
How are you?
Pull back protection off.
Just all right, not awesome, fantastic, incredible, something. Just all right.
Just all right.
There you heard it, straight from Andy. He's doing all right. All right, who knows what that means? Defect detector at the 133.9. Anybody want to wager a guess what's going to happen?
All right, go west side short way through.
I know somebody knows the answer to this question. That's right, CSX train headed our way. Good job. Way to go, you guys. Tony wants to know if you've been out flying.
I have.
As a matter of fact, Tony, he says the answer to that question is yes, he has been.
Flew Monday in Bradley County.
Tony, just in case you didn't hear him, yes, he was flying on Monday up in Bradley County. All right, what do we got coming at us here? We got one piece of equipment with a light moving our way. Over on the far side, we'll have the CSX, but right now, let's see what's sneaking down here on us. One of the autonomous locomotives and the Slug headed our way. And as y'all just saw Crash say, showtime any moment. And thanks to the autonomous locomotive, he has cleared out a wide angle screen for us where we can tell anything coming or going. And maybe he's about to move that train to his left, backing in or reversing up against the green boxcar. And if he pushes that back, we will be able to see the CSX signal tower as well. If it should light up, I see lights on the far rail. Here comes our CSX train. Or at least I'm guessing that's what it is. Right about now. There he is. 25. 7222 and 2017. It is just an incredible night for train watching. It's probably still 50 degrees. It's just a beautiful night. Either that or we're just so used to being cold that we think only 50 degrees is warm. But whichever it is, it beats 35, which it was this morning. And yes, that engine is controlled from a guy that has the little push buttons, toggle switches on a belt on the front of his waist. Show EB. EBEE. Y'all figure out what that means. But show EB. Got a little bit of this, a little bit of that over there. As you can see with this, as we go from sun to dusk, it takes the camera a little bit of extra effort. To read that far away. And thank you for that research. And I'm not sure if it's pronounced Ion or Ian Thompson. There's some flat cars. As John would say, non-revenue producing. And that is the CSX line on the far side. Crash is down to your left there.
8, 6, 5, 8, auto number successful. Out.
factor. There's the White Ninja. Not sure what that stood for. Oh, lots of color there. Earl. Not sure who Earl is, but there he goes. Compare one to the other, and you're going to talk about after dark, by all means, the south end where we are is the spot to be. And here comes an inbound. $34.56. guess this local moving through. Oh, there's a Herzog MOW. Car SD 40-2 is our lead locomotive that we just saw on Norfolk Southern 3456 going by us. Got a little ballast car in there in the middle. And there you see it. It's been fixed. This is not where we want him to stop, where he's got just a couple more cars. We need him to get past us. Todd gives you a very good answer. And the reason being is, for those of you that haven't been there and those of you that have been, because it is a cliff, there are some rocks that jut up where you watch trains. And if you aren't paying attention, or if you don't pick your feet all the way up, there's a good chance you could trip there. And as you just read Todd's note, you do not want to go off the edge. If you've not watched the video where we filmed the car that did so, that would be a great thing to watch, and that will give you a fantastic idea of what can happen if you go over the edge. And the cliff, just talking about the two different places. The cliff, when it's dark, there is absolutely, positively nothing to see. During the daytime, I know many people from all over the world visit it, and I've never heard of anyone having an issue. Where we are at the south end is, I don't know, crash, 4 or 5 miles away. And it is a public parking lot where we are. It is patrolled by not only Chattanooga Police Department, but UTC,
Parking brake applied.
Campus Police. We are next to the old Engel Stadium and the practice soccer fields for UTC. So there are people here just, oh, hey, there's Crash, y'all. But as we were talking, there are people here constantly. And a lot of times you come down, this parking lot's pretty full, but there are always folks on the UTC fields. They're lit up constantly. And it's a very, very unique place where you got great viewing. You are literally in the rail yard. As long as you stay on this side of the yellow rail, you are good to go. You go on the other side of that rail, and yes, you will invite yourself for some trouble from the railroad police because it is a busy traffic road for them, and all the crews go back and forth in the PTI cars, the remote control locomotives. Oh, we got something sneaking out over here on the far side. But this location is just totally awesome. But as always, use your own discretion where you want a rail fan at. Canadian National Unit. What a nice surprise. And that's what makes rail fanning so much fun. It's like buying Cracker Jacks. You know there's a surprise, you just don't know how far down in the box it is, as you've heard me say. Rolling right through, you guys got to see it. It was a little dusty, a little dirty, but you could read it. T-O-X-E-R. Oh, here's a lot of white paint. Y'all decide what that says. I have no clue. Maybe it's written in French. Somebody on their way to Mars. We aren't reading that one. It was really great of the remote control operator to open this up so we got a great clear field of vision. checking.
It's right there.
And Andy just did a speed check on him. 16 miles per hour. Rolling past us. Just like the other one that we saw earlier was between 16 and 17 miles per hour. So we'll just call it double 16s tonight. Up, I hear a DPU. And our DPU unit there at the end of the train, an ES 44 AC road locomotive. Built in November of 2010. And someone asked about the geometry unit. Yes, it is still sitting there. It is tied down, obviously, for the night, or at least for quite a while. And you can see the lead locomotive with the inside red infrared lights on, the cab light. Hello, Confederate kid, how are you? But yes, the geometry unit is still tied down across from the EPB Operations Center at the south end. Yay! Colt finally got to write a comment. You are cooking with grease once again. My hero. After a long time away, his invisible ink pen now writes where we can see it. Kid Outdoor is back. The only person that's ever been on this channel that said he wanted to see what it would be like to spend a night in, yes, the spooky water tower out at Ottawa. And when he's done, he will be able to confirm if it is or is not haunted. If you ask me, it is. Waves and smiles to everybody from Colt, Kid Outdoor, or whatever name he's going to use, so he could be on tonight. Tonight we are Confederate Kid 1989. So welcome back to being able to chat with us. You just gotta love technology when it works. The rest of the time, not so much. And it looks like tonight we have one derailleur up and one down, because as you can see, only one blue light tonight. I like trains, so you're over by Nashville, are you? Somebody sent me a note the other day with a pin that there's a phenomenal spot along the main line in a cemetery over there to watch trains. So the next time I go to Nashville, I'm going to check it out. But he says it is a great, great location. Tony wants me to remind all of you, in case you are not reading the chat, May 16th is Railfan Day in Cowan. And if you have failed to renew your annual membership to the Cowan Railroad Museum, now would be a great time. Send it on in over there. And if you do, you can go to their annual meeting, which is open to members to visit or to be part of that meeting. And there's a whole slew of dates with things going on at the Cowan Railroad Museum, including Cleanup Day, Painting Day, and all other kinds of manual labor days. And if anybody has any questions about the Cowan Railroad Museum, it is a great group of folks. It is a fantastic railroad depot and museum. Don can tell you all about it. Tony can tell you all about it. And if you've not seen some of the videos from Brian, Train Nut Productions, he shoots his videos, a lot of videos there at that location. And there is the Cowan Railroad cam with iron rail cams. And it is well lit at night. It's kind of like the theory of Dalton. Great, great lighting. And the annual meeting is March 26th. For those of you that are members, you should have gotten a letter inviting you and reminding you to renew. And if you got somebody you like, or if you really like them, or you don't want to buy them roses, buy them a membership to the Cowan Railroad Museum. It is only, if I'm not mistaken, $20 a year. And it's the golden year, so if you want, sign up for $50. And we were talking about, there's the campus police checking to make sure that we are having a fun time. They gave us a wave, a smile, but they did not throw any Mardi Gras beads. But we did get a wave and a smile. We saw 7 parades and we caught probably 5 grocery runs full of stuff. Just imagine being able to stand here and not drop a glass because there's so many people.
Police. All right. All right. Let's go north down this track.
The building, and this is all where people work. Everything from the building out, they blow all out into the street. Massive amounts, just hot. And then the street sweepers come and clean it all up, and it's all back to normal. But it's almost like snowboarding, but it's so none of the stuff goes in the water. And it's something you just can't.
70, you all right?
Mobile is a third of the intensity. But to go, the cost is just $500. And we don't have to pay it when this guy does because it's over there. Bushel basket thing for
check that derail or stop 4C.
4C. 470, 9 tower. Tower 170.
Come north, call.
Thanks.
Hello, Nate. Good to have you back, sir. Todd, I actually have that plan. If I remember right, and either Todd or Tony, we got a horn blast. Either Todd or Tony remind me, I think Museum Day is a Thursday. So immediately after the sale, unless it's raining over there, it is my intention to go live at the museum prior to the meeting. And then either before or after, and Todd, if you come over, we, which is talking about Tony and I, are going to have Mexican. I don't know if it's going to be before or after, but we are going to eat well while I'm over there.
I'm going to have Mexican too.
And Andy's coming, so he's going to have Mexican too. So we will, like I said, Todd, the plan is we will do a live show before the meeting, unless weather is prohibited. And Tony confirmed membership is $20 a year, or $200 for a lifetime. Sorry, I got too many zeros in there. For a lifetime. And if I'm not mistaken, a corporate membership is $50 a year. So All right, Todd's got it on his calendar. And Todd, if I remember right, you are a member as well, correct? You joined last year during one of the Railfan things, if my memory's right. But y'all know me. I'm old, and I forget stuff really quick, just like the other night when I met Chris. And 3 minutes later, I turned him into Cliff. So, meeting is at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Excuse me, Central Standard Time. And Tony or Todd, you confirm if it's on a Thursday. We are looking back at the yard down towards the fuel racks where only one of the derail indicators are flashing. And yes, for those of you that just joined, we are live. If Andy gets rowdy and pushes me over because he's trying to steal my beads that I caught that I'm wearing tonight, you will know about it in 6 to 8 seconds, and then you will hear what I said when he pushed me. But we are totally live, everybody. If I make a mistake, y'all gonna just pick on me, so I try to behave. Where we have one remote control locomotive attached to the slug sitting there. Everything else has gotten a little bit quiet. I'm not even sure what time it is.
7:24.
It is 7:24 already in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Oh my goodness, where did time go? Whoa! We have had so much fun tonight. For those of you, Todd that was here right at the beginning, and Nate, when we first got here, it was like the church mice were out. It was so quiet. And then all of a sudden we met the guys in what we have nicknamed the cone truck. And they said, hey, it's getting ready to bust loose. There's 4 rails about to be active, and they were right. From there, it has been non-stop. Tony, if you want to fly something before the meeting, of course. We'll put it on the air. I'll still never forget the first time I suggested to Andy, hey Andy, why don't you come over to Cowan and fly one of your planes? And I was trying to explain to him what it was like because he'd never been there before. Uh-oh, don't start that, Todd. Do not go there. You make me hungry, show's over, so stop it. And I was trying to explain, and then Andy's telling me that, he flies model airplanes, and I'm thinking it's like, the size of a football. And he said, no, I don't think that'll work. Yeah, sure it will. Just come on over, you can land on the grass. So then he showed me a picture later. It's not a model airplane, it's like a submarine. One-man submarine size. You don't take it in the car. You buy a trailer about the size of a work trailer that is 3 times the size of your truck, and you take this plane to wherever, and it's wider than the road. So I then understood Andy's plane does not work well at Cowan. Because when he goes by, it's 100 miles an hour. When Tony goes by, he's going to be food for Andy's plane. But, as you all heard earlier, Andy flies over at Cleveland and different places, so all kinds of airplane action for you. Tony is also part of an air club, and he can tell you about that over at his way. Or y'all come have dinner with us in Cowan on members night or on the board night. But again, you must be a member to attend. And we can talk about planes. And I think, or at least I kind of think, our remote control engine might be moving. But if he is, it's very slow. And we're going to stay with you guys. Oh, we got a double horn blast. Something's moving somewhere, you guys. We got horn blowing everywhere. Let's listen and see what happens. TVRM isn't doing dinner trains during the week, are they, Crash?
Not that I know of. Main tower. Main tower, 110. Baker Street.
I got on the hop over the bridge.
Under and over.
Only way we can get that down. We're clear. I got set a road tower. So the hop over the bridge. That's it. Out of the way. You have to go and get him under the hop.
I hear Bell.
Rain on the net when they clear. Under the hump.
He's moving. Which way, Andy? Uh-oh. Andy thinks he's reversing back towards the hump yard away from us. You can see smoke pouring as he fires up that remote control locomotive. That's exactly what it is. You are absolutely positively, I guarantee you're right. I've got all and during this month, I think it's just on Saturday nights. Now, maybe it's starting in the month of March.
I think if you're talking about the sculpture thing.
They're running a sculpture train.
It's March.
Okay, every Saturday night in March, right? I think it's every Saturday night in March. I was going to get tickets.
They're restoring on the rear, 360.
Going to be available. You know about the sculpture train. There's a landfill right over here. And the TVRM track goes downtown on Chickamauga, right next to it. And then the city, after it was filled, they leveled it off and they put the sculpture all over the landfill. Sidewalk all over the rock. And I guess they're doing park nights and I guess vendors and stuff. TVRM is doing a train sculpture because they're going to do it every Saturday in March. It's kind of an evening event.
Note 375.
20 cars. Oh.
And again, if you are not reading the chat, Tony's model airplane club is coffee, Airfoilers, AIRFOILERS, and they are based in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And Andy's group, and like I said, what do you call your planes again?
My turbine plane?
They're turbine planes.
Turbine powered airplane?
They are turbine planes. His group is called
CRCC Flyers.
CRCC Flyers out of
Chattanooga Radio Control Club.
Chattanooga Radio Control Club. If you have the larger size plane, like I said, it's about the size of Andy's Nissan. And you put jet fuel in it, and off you go, and you go roaring by at 100 miles an hour, and you give the guy you don't like a haircut as you fly over.
That club you're in, is that in Summit?
Yes.
I think it used to be the landfill.
It is, yeah.
You talking about the park? Yeah, that's what it used to be.
I'm talking about where its airplanes were as well.
Oh.
It used to be a dump.
Yeah, we got a 600-foot runway up there. You been up there?
No.
And now we got a pair of headlights down
My dad
there.
used to live on that road, that Wooded Drive.
One coming our way, one going the other way. And as you see the second derailleur indication, both blue lights are now on. So the derails are up on both tracks 1 and 2 back to the fuel rack. And for those of you not been with us before, where we are, those two tracks closest to us, the two closest to us, go on back. You do not go back there until you have permission to go past those two blue lights. And for those of you that have been here before, you've seen the train crew conductor comes down and verifies once they have authorization that the derails have flipped off so that you can go on back and proceed.
8, 6, 7. Auto effective. Out.
Uh-oh, he turned his light off. That's no fun for us. Oh, he went behind the pillar of the Briggs. My bad. I got all disappointed there for a moment. It was like my airplane crashed. But no, he was just behind. So he is working his way right down to us. Maybe he's coming down to pick up this last train that's been sitting here for a hot moment. As we listen to the TVRM train, the dinner train, come down Holtzclaw, crossing by crossing. And let me tell you, if you've never had a meal at TVRM, a friend of mine is a chef and he works there, and let me tell you, not only is the food fantastic, it is fantastic times 2. Make sure, and we are not associated, sponsored by, or anything else with TVRM. We have just got 25 years of experience of going there. Actually longer than that. And their food is incredible, including the secret recipe for chicken salad sandwiches on croissants with fresh tomato and lettuce in the gift shop. All right, here comes our switching locomotive, headed our way. See the light of the engineer on his hat on top. So as he looks at something, it's lit up. $61.80. There he is. See, he's back on. There, now he's off. Saw his headlights sticking up. Checking his alignment of the rail. We've got car approach and switcher reverse. No, he is not going to pick up our green boxcar train. He's going to sneak in behind it. We're going to finish up here at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay. Let's see.
You got anything exciting planned anytime soon?
No.
No? No trains, no railroad stuff, no airplane stuff, no nothing?
8, 6, 5. Hey, conscious ready. Pull back on. Out.
Andy said, tell y'all, see you later. And Crash and I both believe that is the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum Valentine dinner train going down Hawkscall that you hear whistling.
Behind me, keeping along on the 98, mostly just. Got the side, not the roof. I'm gonna paint that roof red. Like that.
As y'all saw Ravenhawk's comment, yes, dinner train confirmed, and that is the Southern's 5000 horn that you're listening to. Thanks, Sterling. You gone? We're gonna finish up the race.
Yeah, I'm gonna get them back here. Oh yeah. Good to see you. Okay.
Stay out of trouble.
I'm right there.
If you're out and about, we're going someplace around 12:30.
I've got work. Nice. I'll probably
Everybody, Trash said to tell you all bye. He's headed to the hacienda. We will be finishing up at 8 o'clock tonight, Eastern Standard Time. Anybody have any questions, please feel free to ask. Somebody that's on with us tonight will know the answer. If not, Todd will find it out for us. Hope everybody's doing well, and I hope everybody has figured out what they want to get for the Valentine in their life. If you guys have not sent your submissions in, Rail Moments, Best of the Rails, every Sunday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Send your videos up to 30 seconds. No music, please, because it does jam the channel for something that's copyrighted when it processes through YouTube, or your stills. Anything train related, favorite depots, butterfly on the number boards, just whatever it is that you've seen during the week that you thought was interesting and train related.
65 CT. Alright, southbound. 65 south.
4 south.
Yes, ready.
How far is off?
Alright, y'all have a good night. Here we go.
Usual.
Sterling, make sure you do it right so you get an A+. We got to get you graduated.
10 to Polk Street, do you plan on getting?
Geometry Unit sitting down there. There's a spacewalker there on the door. I think that's what that says. Polka. Oh, if y'all aren't reading the chat, a special note from Thomas. That train that came in with the Herzog car was our cut from the CNC today. Hey, how cool is that? We're going to use that as our feature picture for tonight's live show. Once we conclude, we'll post that picture. Thanks, Thomas. Good to see you again. Great to have you on. Erase, E-R-A-S-E. How many times have we seen that in how many different formats? And there's a guy with droopy ears, maybe a dog. Y'all decide. But just that was really cool to see the truck coming back with one Herzog car, reversing right past us into the yard. Another great surprise, as always, here at the South End. And as you see the note from Thomas, from the Herzog to the end was our cut of 19 cars. I hope everything's going well on the CNC line. Love the color of y'all's locomotives. They make for a great picture. When you drive on down to Somerville, see them sitting there along the road there. Oh, you guys know what train this is. We watched him reversing in and out. There it is. The gremlin is back! These are the two locomotives that we watched earlier that were sitting here and then reversed back into the yard. They were here when we got here. 4873 and I think it was 4668 if my memory's right. But anyhow, these are the locomotives that we watched reverse back into the yard, and they picked up their train, came out, backed in again, got the rest of the train, and now they are on their way out the south end, where they'll go around Lookout Mountain and either up on the Chattanooga joint or down the AGS. How cool. Hi, Eugene. I understand it's warming up in Virginia, Tara said. And his current speed is 15 miles per hour. 15 miles per hour as he begins to make his way out of Chattanooga. Going past the brick NS34 with that spooky locomotive look. Thomas, I'm glad to hear that everything's going just great. That's awesome news. Always good to hear from you. Thanks for being on tonight. Everybody, thanks for being on tonight. And Todd, this one may be coming right out from the fuel rack. I see they have turned the derail indication light off, and the derailleur appears to be down, and the blue light is off. So let's see if he's going to go past us or if he's just coming from the fuel rack and they're going to park him until later, like we had our locomotives when we pulled up. Eugene, so far everybody's just been doing fantastic, and if we can add you to that, that would be great. 3299. Y'all recognize them from earlier. They brought the local train in. Look at that, he's got one number board working and one number board not working. 3456 and SD40-2.
Somebody wound up with a 466.
And there they go around the corner, out down the south end as they disappear. A pair of SD40-2s. And our lead locomotive was built in June of 1978 for the Alabama Great Southern, the AGS. And it was number 3299 then. How cool is that? And as y'all just saw, Sterling wrote what I just read. An ex-Southern and ex-Burlington Northern units. Up, and the derail lights are back on. So they've both been flipped back up. Thanks, Sterling. Little history on those two locomotives, where they used to be, and get a little idea just how old they are. Well, look at that. We have amber on the NS bypass track. Well, from Virginia to all over, to all parts of the country, thanks for being with Casey tonight and I here on Rail Moments. And y'all, if you're not reading the chat, we just got an amber on the inbound pass-through track, so we were just getting ready to tell y'all goodbye. So, well, we're going to hang on for a moment and see if by chance they roll an NS train on in here on the pass-through. we just wanted to catch up. And again, first of all, don't forget to please, if you are new, subscribe. That way you'll get notifications when we go live from wherever the next crossing is, where production unit 6 rolls out to. And you never know where that is. And we always want you to participate, be part of the group, find something that interests you, whether it's a rail car, an old car, or whatever, just like you all read. Sterling filling us in where those locomotives used to work and which different lines before they came right past you today, coming out of the yard, going down the way. Don't forget, every Sunday, Best of the Rail Show, excuse me, Best of the Rail Show every Sunday, 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Send your stills and videos, no music please. It jams up when it goes through YouTube. But anything train related, depot related, historical related, or has to do with trains, whatever, railmoments.com, just drop it in like it is a letter in the mailbox, or you can send it to the email from railmoments, from railmoments@gmail.com. And then join us and tell us about what we're looking at as we go through them on Sunday Night Live from the studio. And as you saw, Thomas cut those cars earlier. They were down on the CNC line. Crash was over on the other side. He came and joined us. Anytime that we're live someplace, please feel free to come by and hang out with us here at Production 6. Andy was with us tonight. Like I said, Crash came by and hung out with us. Earlier, he'd been on the other side. We heard the TVRM train. So we are in the parking lot right next to the Debutts yard, the second largest classification type yard in the NS system of its type. And down at the other end's the hump yard. Down at the other end's Coffee's Cliff, where we were Tuesday. And it's always something interesting. Looks like everybody's done practicing sports over across the way. We still got Amber on the pass-through, so we're going to start. Oh, let's see what time it is, because we haven't had dinner yet. We're going to start a 11-minute countdown for 8:25 p.m. If we don't have something by 8:25, we are going to call it a night. And again, we thank each and every one of you that watches this today and in the future, because as you all know, once these conclude, once they upload to YouTube, they automatically shift to the Trackside Live library, and they're there forever. So you can watch them 100 times, one more time, something particular. Like I said, there's so many different things, so many different times that we see, be it the graffiti, whatever, or some of the different messages. And so you'll be able to send them to a friend, whatever. But anyhow, Casey, I appreciate you guys. I hope you had fun. I always have fun. So we're just going to sit back, relax, listen to the scanner, see what's going on, see if our inbound train makes it, because as y'all pointed out, we have an amber. And you can just barely see him over the top of the 3rd Street Bridge, where the twos on the signal bridge for NS, the CSX signal tower is over on the far right side. You only see it if there's something coming and it lights up. So everybody, back to the track. We'll listen to the scanner, and at 8:25, it will be time to start heading home to see Mrs. S, unless we get an inbound train. Anybody have any questions? Throw them out there. Anybody have ideas, comments, whatever? Throw them out there. As far as I know, the weather in Chattanooga tomorrow is going to be in the mid-50s. And if everything stays on schedule for me tomorrow, we will go trackside sometime after 12:30 when we leave job number 1, which, as you all know, makes job number 2 possible. So, it's been fun. It's been real. Don't forget, Valentine's coming up. Make sure you tell the one that you love how much they mean to you. Even the train agrees. So, make sure you get them something special this weekend. Show them that you care, but do it all the time, not just once a year. So everybody, let's go back to the tracks. Let's see if anything rolls our way before we call it a day on our show. Gotta watch all these rocks. It is getting a little chilly out here too. Wow, that's great news, Eugene. Thanks for sharing with us. And we are planning our road trip up to see Tara up in Roanoke, coming up here in the next couple months. Okay, y'all saw it. Our amber just went green on the NS pass-through. Coming our way. our cone truck making his way westward as our intermodal rolls through on the NS pass-through. And he is currently at 12 miles per hour. 12 miles per hour rolling past us. There are UP Motors up front. as you see the note, and you're right, UP Power up front, a pair of them. And the note from Ravenhawk, a C45 ACCTE and a former C&NW C44-9W. And that's what it's all about, being part of Rail Moments and sharing with everybody what's happening on the rails. What you see, what you saw, what went through, and what went by, all at the same time. And that's why this is so much fun. I was just taking a quick check to the west to see if we had anything sneaking around the corner on us. That red glow you see over there is the brick NS34. So everybody, we got a pair of double regs now on the NS pass-through. Lots of blue flashing lights at the derail point for the fuel racks. And as Mama Bear said, we had a fantastic sunset. And now we will see y'all at the next crossing tomorrow someplace. Thank you, everybody. Casey and I appreciate y'all. Don't forget, if you haven't already, please subscribe, like, tell your friends, your neighbors, find somebody if you don't like, even that you don't like, and say, hey,